All right, so this grant that we applied for our theater arts program, Breathitt High School Theater Arts, is entitled "We Build Monsters," and the initial grant was based on the fact that our problem of practice, at least, was that as a new theater program and in a community without a strong arts presence, we've struggled with funding for materials that just basic materials that we need to build our sets and our props. Breathitt County is in an extremely economically depressed region. It's one of the poorest counties in the United States. And even though we're getting more and more people to come to our shows, both plays and musicals, patrons are either unable or unwilling to pay more for tickets. And we're entirely self-funded. It's tickets that fund our entire program. We don't, other than the ARI grants, the only thing we get, any kind of funding we get, are from ticket sales. And it's even when we try for a musical, which is usually going to cost more than a regular play ticket, we encountered so much resistance that we weren't able to do that. So it's hard for us really to get the funding we need to build a professional large-scale program. So if we want to do a large-scale set for a big show, we have to find funding elsewhere. An ARI grant was perfect for this. But we often lack the materials necessary to perform those large-scale productions. Luckily, thanks to KVEC ARI grants in the past, we've been able to supplement our program by purchasing the necessary building tools to outfit a proper scenic shop for building sets. So we actually, our first grant that we got through KVEC was for microphones, because we didn't have a decent set microphones. That was the first thing we did. And then after that, we were able to purchase the tools. We really outfitted an entire scenic shop of tools for our program, so that we were able to kind of build up an entire technical theater side for what we do, so that we really had the tools we needed to build the sets and the props we need. And furthermore, we were able to purchase enough materials to construct a large-scale ship set for the production of Treasure Island. That the success of our program, the turnout, the attention that we're getting has led the school district to provide more and more support. So they purchased a new sound system for us. And finally, we got curtains, which is the one thing we've been waiting for. And so we have we have curtains, we have main curtains, we have masking curtains. So it's the more attention we get, the more resources we get from the district. But we're still not quite where we need to be in terms of the materials we need to build sets. So what we wanted to do, our initial proposal, we had planned on performing a play rather than a musical this spring, as we had foreseen producing musicals every other year rather than annual, due to the fact that they're very complex, they cost a lot. We usually it's a lot of effort. You have to get the music department with the theater department, and we all kind of have to work together on it. So it's a lot of work. It's very complex. So we had our initial proposal was based on the plan that we were going to perform the play She Kills Monsters in the spring rather than a musical. And that play has a lot of big puppets. Well, it could have a lot of, the way we envisioned it, we had a lot of large scale puppets. In particular, there's a massive 5-headed dragon that's in the final climactic scene of the play. And so we had applied for the grant planning on using those materials to build those pieces. And the proposal was for the materials that we would need to construct these large-scale monster puppets. However, there have been some modifications to that. Due to the resounding, that was a mistake, typo there, a resounding success of our first musical production, Little Shop of Horrors, last year, we made the decision to pursue a more ambitious program than we did in the past. And we've decided we're going to perform musicals annually, rather than every other year, because it was just such a Little Shop was it was just such a big deal here in Breathitt County. And it was the first really big musical that we were able to produce. And it went so well, we decided to do another musical this year. So our spring, we decided to we were going to have a program of having spring musicals every year. And this year we decided to do Annie. Now, although Annie doesn't have any obvious monsters, there's still a demand for extensive and elaborate sets and equipment. I mean, there's snow, there's the streets of New York City, there's a big mansion scene. I mean, there's a lot that it involves. So we've modified, our plans to use that to help get the materials we need to build the set for Annie. For example, we've already used some of the funds to purchase snow machines to help create the winter scenes. So we have enough snow machines to outfit outside the windows so that there will be snow falling out the windows. So that's one thing we've been able to do so far. So the plan was to use it to work on the set for Annie. Well, complications arose, obviously, with the COVID-19 pandemic that obviously affected our plans for a spring musical this year, and our production of Annie has been postponed to December of 2020. Thank you, Music Theater International, who gives us the rights to produce the play as well as scripts that we rent from them. They agreed to extend our rental and the right to perform to December. We have continued our theatrical rehearsals online through Google Meets, and the music director is going to begin online musical rehearsals soon as well, once he figures out how to make that happen, because it's a little bit different doing a musical rehearsal online than it is doing just regular dramatic rehearsals. So our set building's been postponed, and we will not be able to draw on those funds for the materials until we return to school. But once we do that, we'll be able to continue on and use those materials to purchase what we need, or use the funds to purchase the materials we need to build the set for Annie. That's the plan as it stands.